The Galactic Hazard Response Team had been tracking the derelict for 3 months. Whatever species had built it came from a Class 15 death world, the theoretical maximum on the habitability scale, representing planets so hostile that evolution itself became weaponized. Commander Veldar reviewed the data as his research vessel approached the massive alien craft drifting in the void. The ship's design was horrifying, organic curves that suggested it had been grown rather than built, hull plating that seemed to shift and writhe even in death, and weapon ports that looked like gaping maws. "Bioscanners are going insane," reported his science officer, Dr. Crixtal. "The entire ship appears to be constructed from living tissue. Even dead, it's registering cellular activity. Maintain safe distance," Veldar ordered. "We need to understand this threat before it reaches populated systems." The transmission came as they completed their initial scans. "Ahoy there. You folks need any help?" Veldar's 4 eyes widened in horror as a small, battered human cargo vessel emerged from behind the derelict. The humans had somehow gotten here first and were apparently working on it. "Human vessel, you must evacuate immediately," Veldar transmitted frantically. "That ship is from a Class 15 death world. It represents an extinction-level threat to all organic life." Captain Rodriguez of the cargo hauler Lucky Strike chuckled over the comm. "Oh, you mean the Devourer? Yeah, we've been stripping her for parts for about 2 weeks now. Pretty decent salvage, actually." "Stripping for parts?" Veldar's voice cracked with panic. "That vessel contains biotechnology that could consume entire ecosystems. How are you still alive?" "Well, it helps that she's been dead for about 50 years, Rodriguez replied casually. "Had to jerry-rig some environmental suits when we first boarded. The air was pretty toxic, but nothing our scrubbers couldn't handle." Dr. Crixtal was staring at his readings in disbelief. "Commander, the humans appear to have disabled the ship's self-defense systems." "Somehow, defense systems?" Rodriguez's voice carried genuine confusion. "You mean those tentacle things that kept trying to grab us?" "Yeah, we had to cut those off with plasma torches. They were getting in the way of the good salvage." Veldar watched through his viewport as human workers in patched environmental suits casually dismantled technology that should have been dissolving them at the molecular level. "Ow," he whispered. "Look, buddy." Rodriguez's tone became patient, like he was explaining something obvious to a child. "It's just a ship. Big, ugly, probably used to eat planets for breakfast, but still just metal and meat. Everything dies eventually, and when it does, it becomes spare parts. But the radiation alone should have killed you instantly." "Radiation?" There was a pause. "Oh, you mean that blue glow?" "Yeah, that was pretty, but our suits are rated for solar flare exposure. This wasn't much worse than working near an unstable reactor." Dr. Crixtal's readings showed the impossible truth. The humans had somehow neutralized biotoxins that could liquefy most known species, dismantled weapons systems that operated on principles unknown to galactic science, and were currently using power tools to harvest materials that should have been actively trying to consume them. "Captain Rodriguez," Veldar asked weakly, "what exactly is your background?" "Asteroid mining, mostly. Some deep space salvage." "What? And you consider this routine?" "Well, it's definitely the weirdest ship we've ever stripped," Rodriguez admitted. "But weird pays better than standard. You want to put in a bid for the engine components? We've got them mostly extracted." Veldar stared at the human cargo vessel, where ordinary working-class humans were casually dismantling them. "Encountered. Captain," he said slowly, "what exactly qualifies as dangerous in human space?" Rodriguez laughed. "Dangerous? This old girl's been dead for decades. You want to see dangerous? You should visit the Titan shipyards during storm season. Now that's exciting work." Veldar made a note in his log. "Recommend immediate upgrade of human homeworld classification to Class 16. Scale may require expansion." Below the entry, he added, "Request psychological evaluation for entire hazard response team. Suspected reality dissociation due to exposure to impossible human behavior." "Hey," Rodriguez called out. "You folks want to come aboard for coffee?" We've got the galley cleared of all the nasty stuff, and the view from the bridge is pretty spectacular. Veldar closed his eyes and tried to remember when the universe had started making sense.